So hello everyone, I am Monica from this channel. So we are going to do this reading. Title of the reading is Building the Skyline, the Birth and Growth of Manhattan's Skyscrapers. Always read this information also. Here they are saying Catherine L. Sister reviews a book by Jason Barr about the development of New York City. Okay, this reading I have taken it from book number 17. Okay, and test 3 from, and the passage number is 3. Okay, now let's look at the type of passage we have. Only the small paragraphs without any lettered A, B, C, D, as usually in many passages they have given. Okay, now after looking at the paragraph, you can check the type of questions we have. So we have questions 27 to 31. Choose the correct letter, means we A, B, C, D. So there are 4 options are there. We have to select only one option. Multiple choice questions, as you know it. And the second type of question we have yes, no, not given. And third type of question is complete the summary using the list of phrases. So where are the list of phrases A to J? You can see this is help box they have given. Okay, and these are the fill in the blanks over here. Now let's start with the first type of question. Now here in MCQs, multiple choice question, how we are going to do this kind of questions. First, you will be reading the question statement. Don't read these ones, or it's your wish. If you want to read it, then there is no problem. But the main important thing is you should understand what this question says. If you have understood this question, definitely you are going to find the right answer. So here in this, what point does okay, Chester make about Burr's book in the first paragraph? Location they have given, we will be finding it in first paragraph. Chester, this writer, he is reviewing this book, this person's book. Okay, that's why I have told you always read this one also after the title. Okay, so they are saying what point does Chester make about Burr's book in the first paragraph. Okay, let's move on to the first paragraph. Now this is the first paragraph, let's read it. So don't read these unnecessarily information. In Building the Skyline, if there is a difficult spelling, then don't try to read it. Jason Barr takes the reader through a detailed history of New York City. The book combines geology, history, economics, and a lot of data to explain why business clusters developed where they did, and how the early decisions of workers and firms shaped the skyline we see today. Okay, Building the Skyline is organized into 2 distinct parts, means this book. The first is primarily historical and addresses New York. Okay, so same here, you have to read the full paragraph. The second deals primarily with 20th century and is a compilation of chapters commenting on different aspects of development. The tone and organization of the book changes somewhat between the first and second parts, and the later chapters incorporate aspects of Burr's related research papers. Okay, so yes, let's read the options. So what the options saying? It gives a highly original explanation for urban development. So explanation for urban development was there, but original thing was not there. Highly original thing means it was not original. It is not described. So this is of elements of Burr's research papers are incorporated throughout the book. Okay, elements of Burr's research papers are incorporated throughout the book. So incorporated line was also there throughout the book. So we need to find out this. Okay, so let's read the C. Other books that are available on the subject. So other books, no, they were not talking other books, any other book in the paragraph. So it is cut. Always there will be 2 unnecessary list of options will be there for MCQ. Now we have left B and D. Let's read D. It covers a range of factors that affected the development of New York. Okay, let's find it, because this word, this line I have read it at the end of this paragraph. The tone and organization of the book changes somewhat between first and second parts. First and second parts changes, and the later chapters incorporate aspects of verse related research paper. Later chapters. So here he is saying throughout the book. So it means it is out of option. So only we have left with D. But range of factors I will show you that affected. So here they are saying in the second line, the book combines geology, history, economic, lot of data to explain why business clusters developed, where did they come. Okay, so these are the factors relating to history, geology, economics and all that affected the development of, so this will be the answer. 28. So one by one you have to match it, you have to read it. So when you will be reading the paragraph, within 1 minute, don't spend too much time on the reading paragraphs. So how does Chester respond to the information in the book about tenements? Okay, how does respond to the information about tenements? So this is so they have not given any thing about the location, so we will be looking for this word. Okay, this is my keyword to find the location. Now first paragraph is done. Now let's look at the word tenements. Okay, where we can find implementation. Third paragraph I am looking at. Yeah, tenement word is there. Let's read it from here. So they have asked Chester respond to the information. Okay, about tenements. So both chapters are informative and well researched and set the stage for economic analysis that comes later in the book. I would have liked Burr to expand his. I would have liked, it means she is not liking it, to expand his claim. Burr claimed that existing tenements prevented skyscrapers in certain neighborhoods because likely no skyscrapers. Okay, tenements prevented certain neighborhood because likely no skyscraper builder was not interested in performing necessary slum clearance. Later in the book, Burr makes the claim. So 2 times he is claiming that the depth of bedrock was not a limiting factor for developers, as foundation cost is also included, were a small fraction of the cost of development. At first it is not obvious, okay, why slum clearance would be limiting while more expensive foundations would not. Okay, I would not have liked, okay, I would have liked Burr to expand his claim. Okay, let's read the options. She describes the reasons for Burr's interest. No, she is not describing any reasons for Burr's interest. Okay, she indicates a potential problem with Burr's analysis. She indicates. So this is cut. So let's read the other one also. She compares Burr's conclusion with that of, no, there is no other writer. D. She provides details about the sources Burr used for his research. Details. No, where he is providing details. Was interested in performing. So he is just telling the reasons why this builders did not develop this special area. Foundation cost were a small fraction, development about the used for his research. No. So it means we have been left B1, and she indicates a potential problem. So where is potential problem with Burr's analysis? So he has claimed twice a time in this, and she is saying potential problem. So here I can see these words. I would have liked Burr to expand his claim that existing this claim also, and later in the book he makes another kind of claims that the depth of bedrock was not a limiting factor and all. At first glance it is not obvious why slum clearance would be limiting while more expensive foundations would not be. So it is not clear at every time there is some problem of his analysis. Okay, so that's why she indicates a potential problem with Bart's analysis. Okay. 29th. What does Chester say about chapter 6 of the book? Okay, Chester say about chapter 6 of the book. I know these 5 questions are time consuming. So, okay. Chapter say about the chapter 6 of the book. This person says, okay. So, on the first page, so we have read all the 3 passages, 1, 2, 3. Let's move on to the next page. Now the second page, chapter 4, they are discussing. Chapter 5 and 6, we have to look for chapter number 6. Okay, part 2, 5, 4 is there, 5 chapter is there. Okay, chapter 6 is there. Let's read it. Then presents data on building height throughout the 20th century and uses regression analysis to predict building construction. While less technical than the research paper on which the chapter is based. It means it was less technical than the research paper on which chapter is based. Okay, it is probably more technical than would be preferred by journal. So general audience it is not understandable, probably more technical than would be preferred by general audience. Okay, let's read the options. For 29th, okay, Chester say about chapter 6 of the book. Okay, it contains conflicting data. No, it was not like that. It focuses too much on possible trends. Predict word was there. Okay, regression analysis to predict building construction. While less technical research. Okay, so he is not focusing anything on possible trends. Okay, so I am cutting it. It is too specialized for most readers. Yes, readers, yeah, yes, would be preferred by general audience, but he is saying it is probably more technical, it is more specialized, it means would be preferred by gen. So this we can just opt. Let's read the D1 also, because every option you need to read it and then you match it. D, it draws on research that is out of date. No, nothing was there about out of date. So this one is left. It is too specialized for most readers, means it is probably more technical, means too specialized for the general audience. Audience here means like readers. There because this is book, how can we get audience? So the readers only, indirectly he is talking. Okay, so 30th number. What does Chester suggest about the chapters focusing on 1920s building boom? Okay, this is my keyword, 1920s building boom, 1920s especially. Okay, so this paragraph we have done. Let's read the 1920, let's find out. So 1920 is in this paragraph. Let's read it from this paragraph. What they are asking? Suggest. Okay, now he is suggesting about chapters focusing on. Okay, chapter 9 focus on birth of Midtown and the building boom of 1920s. Chapter 8 contains lengthy discussions building boom of the 1920s. Okay, chapter 8 lengthy discussions of urban economic theory that may serve as. Okay, chapter 8 and 9 focus on, it means first focus on Midtown and second 9 chapter will focus on building boom. Okay, so here it is again given. In the next chapter bar considers 2 of the primary explanation, okay, for building boom of this. First being exuberance, second being financing. Okay, he uses data to assess the viability of these explanation and find that supply and demand factors explain much of the development of 1920s. Okay, though it enabled the boom, cheap credit was not, he argues, the primary cause. Okay, cheap credit was not there, he argues this was a primary cause. Okay, let's read it. The information should have been organized differently. Okay, so no, I don't think so. Let's read the other ones. More facts are needed about the construction was financed. More facts, because finance credit was there, more facts are needed about the way construction was financed. Let's read the C1. The explanation that is given for the building boom is unlikely. Okay, the some parts will have limited appeal to certain people. Let's read it. Some parts will have to limited appeal. Okay, the being. Let's read it. What they are. Barr considers two of the in the next chapter. Okay, let's read it the full. The building boom of 1920s, focusing on the chapter 8 contains lengthy discussions of urban. Okay, lengthy discussions of urban economic theory that may serve as a distraction to readers primarily interested in New York. This also is given. However, they would be well suited for other graduates learning about economics. The information should have organized differently, so nothing is given like that. More facts are needed about the way finance. This is also not discussed. Only they have given a cheap credit was not available, so they are not discussing more facts are required. The explanation that is given for the building boom is unlikely. So building boom is unlikely is also not there. Explanation is given, that is given for building is unlikely. So some parts will have limited appeal to certain people. So here I can correlate lengthy discussions were there of urban economic theory that may serve as a distraction to readers primarily interested in. So some parts of the book, because there were lengthy discussions of urban economic theory about this building, so some it can get distracted, like readers may not read the things. So some parts will have limited appeal to certain people, so that we can match it. Okay. So 31. What impresses Chester the most about the chapter on land values? What impresses? Okay, now how she is impressing, how this person is impressing the most about the chapter on land values. Of course, now everything we have read, only this paragraph is left. Okay, let's find the land values. Okay, land values is given in this paragraph. What impresses? So what was the question? What impresses Chester the most about the chapter on land values? Okay, Bird discusses another of his empirical papers that estimates Manhattan land values from mid to the present day. The data work that went into these estimations is particularly impressive. Okay, it is impressive. She is just laying focus, particularly impressive. Towards the end of the chapter, assesses whether skyscrapers are a cause or an effect of high land values. He finds that changes in land values predict future building height, but the reverse is not true. The book ends with an epilogue in which Bird discusses the impact of climate change on city. And makes policy suggestions for New York going forward. What impresses? Okay, the broad time period that is covered. The broad time period. So broad time period, 19th century to the present day. Okay, but impresses the most. So no, this is not the impression kind of thing. Land values. Okay, the data work that went into these estimations is data, not the time value, not the time period is covered. Okay, she is not impressed. The interesting questions that Barr asks. So Barr asks particularly the data work she is interested. Okay, these estimation. Okay, estimation is particularly impressive. The interesting questions, no. The C number, the nature of the research into the topic. Okay, let's find it. The recommendation Barr makes for the future. The recommendation, yes, it is given. The book ends with an epilogue in which Barr discusses impact of climate change on the city and makes policy suggestion for this. Okay, but no. Because she is not impressing with the recommendations. She is saying the data work that went into the estimations is particularly impressive. It means the nature of the research into the topic, that thing is left. So we have to scrutinize each and every point before reaching the final point. Okay, now